We started this company because after a dozen years or so building wind farms around the country, we just came to the realization that you can't keep building wind farms unless you build the wires to get that energy to market. And that's what our company does. It's a pretty simple idea that, hey, you got all this wind here, you got these large electric loads over here, you got to connect the two.
If you provide the links from the best resource to population centers, then you become a catalyst for wind power and cheap renewable resource to be a much bigger part of the country's future.
The Grain Belt Express Clean Line is about a 700-mile overhead, high-voltage direct current transmission line that'll gather up wind energy in Kansas and deliver it to Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, and states farther east.
Kansas has a phenomenal wind resource, particularly western Kansas, and so we want to tap that resource and move that energy east.
If we can connect that resource to stronger points on the grid and larger markets, then we can bring those wind energy farms that developers want to build into fruition.
The cheapest renewable power is onshore wind in the middle of the Great Plains. So you have to build the bridge and get it to where there's a lot more people. And that's what all of this is about.
The transmission grid is full. We have these resources in the middle of the country, and the lines there just aren't equipped to move the power to the areas of the country where consumers need it.
In the past, the way we get coal energy to market is we put it on a train and we move it to the coal plant. If you want to get natural gas to market, you put it in a pipeline, you move it to market. This is a new challenge. How do you get renewable energy to market? Well, you use wires to do that. We're using high voltage direct current technology, which is the most efficient way to move power a long distance. We need about a third of the right-of-way that you would need to move a comparable amount of energy with alternating current lines.
We spend an enormous amount of time reaching out to stakeholders, making sure that we understand their concerns and how we can address them. We're trying to work in a very open, transparent way, even though sometimes that means that it's going to take us longer to do things. I think that will make a difference in the long run.
We think the biggest advantage of this technology approach is be efficient about it, okay? If we're going to move in this direction, it's important that we build the new infrastructure that's much more efficient than the infrastructure that we have today.
The line will enable more than 3,500 megawatts of brand new wind farms to be built. That's about $7 billion of investment in new energy infrastructure, and that will result in demand for wind turbine components to trickle down through the supply chain.
We sell plugs, the connectors, and of course the insulators that hold the line on the tower. The core and the foundation of Hubbell Power Systems is the A.B. Chance Company, which is in Centralia, Missouri. We have 800 employees based there. The impact of just one of Clean Line's 4 projects would hire another 50 to 70 people in Centralia.
You want these factories to keep rolling, you want these trucks to keep going, you want these rail lines going, then, hey, transmission is a good thing.
The renewable energy is about expanding the grid, about taking renewable resources which are located in remote areas and creating a grid to transmit them to populous areas. But even beyond that, now you have turbine manufacturers, blade manufacturers, all locating plants here in the U.S., creating jobs, creating opportunity for an industry that we need here to support our energy generation.
So we would commit up front to making all of the products that we sell to Clean Line in the United States.
If you build infrastructure, you're going to create jobs. It's our job as developers to put together all the pieces so that we can build that infrastructure. And the key, in our view, to getting this infrastructure built is for state and federal regulatory agencies to act on this stuff and to move it forward. The sooner we can line up those pieces, then the sooner we can get about the business of helping put people back to work. We are not looking for public financing for our projects. We're just looking for the right framework in which we can invest.